evolution you're at or de-evolve in order to complete the level. So it requires you to think a bit more than a straightforward, hey, you evo, lock and key mechanism, kind of,
right.
Switch through the keys as fast as you can.
Yeah, because you're stuck into it until you can find one of the bitstream guys to transform back.
And you have to really trust the level designer because, you almost think, oh, there's got to be a bug here. This is so hard. But it's not that hard.
I was totally in the
wow, you were such a ninja. I thought you were totally going to go to the other side of the screen again. What?
Oh, no, you're stuck. Okay, yeah.
You gotta trust that level designer.
But yeah, anyway, so as far as how we know Sharif, we met at the PAX 10, which was bizarre because for some reason I was showing this crappy student game I made.
That is not a crappy student game.
Thing.
He does not give himself enough credit. These guys put together a really, really cool concept. If you have not shown them that game here yet, you really should.
That's what we're doing to sort of fill some time later. But
I love it. It's such a clever concept. A platformer based on photography. It's so cool. It's very clever, and Steven was on the panel and we were watching him and we were like, this guy goes to SC. That's freaking awesome. So we should totally hang out.
I'm also curious, what are your guys' connection with SC? I thought you said some people at your company worked there before. Or?
Oh yeah, we've had people the program here is kind of awesome. So it's really taken off. In 2005, this will show you how weird this really goes. I met an associate producer actually a QA at Sony Pictures. This is when I was still a producer back for Sony Pictures for the video game department. And I met one of the QA people, and she had been going to the USC program for games, and I didn't really know that it was there at the time. And Robert Nashak, who I think was the first guy who was kind of setting this stuff up, was running the department, and I worked with him previous to that when he was at, I want to say, Knowledge Adventure. Okay, I'm going to bore you to tears with a bunch of stuff.
That's
here.
all good. I didn't know. All I've heard of Nashak is that he was some CEO at EA or something, but I guess you don't.
He's great. Yeah. Is he? Okay. I lost contact with Robert since, but I remember Teresa, who was the QA person, was so awesome. We promoted her to producer, and she came out of this program. And from then on, we kind of just watched the program, whether I was at Nick or Disney or stuff. And then when I went to start my own company, it was kind of a big plus for people if they came out of this program, because everybody I worked with that came out of it was really, really good. So Sean Kearney, who was our very first producer out of TikTok, came in and just killed it with a couple of games that we made for mobile that just broke the top 10 right away. Awesome. Lyric Legend, and this was early in the iOS days. But yeah, he was incredible. So it just kind of made a case that if it's a student coming from here, and then you have Aaron Reynolds that did
Nevermind.
And so it's just really, really great talent coming out of here. So I guess my connection is as I've become a fan of your guys' stuff. You guys do good stuff.
I was just curious because you mentioned, I didn't think that you had went here as a student, but you mentioned sort of knowing Nashak and what the program was like before, which was sort of in this primordial state, just this poopy little building with one class, right?
It's one classroom, and now it's become this humongous thing, which is absolutely awesome.
Well,
and there's so many toys.
Yeah. No, I mean, thanks for showing for this school. I mean, we don't need to just love USC all the time, but
I love the games.
Yeah, thanks for it. It means a lot. Yeah, I mean, hopefully it means this education's worth something.
Oh, it does. I mean, really, I think people really look for it now. So you guys are in great shape as students, and you're kind of helping raise that bar by being part of the PAX 10. This year it was there were three, I want to say three students in the PAX 10 that like 3 student programs. One from NYU.
Yeah, there was NYU for Ninja Tag.
Ninja Tag, which was awesome, and those really cool guys that Grapple, yeah, those guys were awesome.
Yeah, they were super cool to talk with.
And they were students too, and then...
I think they were from Texas?
Yeah, Texas.
I don't know which...
I kept on saying he was from NYU, but he was like, I'm not from NYU.
those guys were, like, pretty interesting in terms of, like, their wording. I don't know. They were just fun to talk to. I could totally see that conversation, just like... I'm not from NYU, guys.
He's funny.
Yeah, so I'm curious, like, how did you guys come up with this?
Well, it's a really great question. Like, I think, you know, back in when we first started... Oh, what happened? The batteries are dead.
Pip's gonna die if you don't fix it.
Yeah,
now.
right? Like, this is actually a clock. Okay, well.
Man,
Pip's dead.
The bus went under 50 miles per hour.
You should have like
killed everyone.
You should have like a never alone death where like a bear just mauls you over and over again. So
Why
you feel really
is
bad about this death. You've killed Pip in a horrible way.
Just Pip getting punched in the face repeatedly.
Ouch.
Wow, that went dark really fast.
I know, really. Take it to a whole new level.
Sorry.
So you think if I quit out to menu and then use the controller to go back in, would that fix this? I'm not really sure what happened here.
Oh,
do you think that
it's
maybe
not
the
like,
batteries just...
It's
the controller is connected.
Okay.
Or at least this
you know,
one is.
if it's not, is it... Okay,
Can you, like,
but it's
deconnect
not,
it and
like-
reconnect it?
it could be that it needs to be... Did you switch the controllers? Is that what, like...
Yeah, I
happened?
tried a different one. So this is the one Maria was originally
Oh,
using.
okay. And the battery... Whoa.
The batteries are working on it,
Oh, okay.
which was bizarre because it was totally on whenever she handed
Let's
it to
just
me.
put it back in and see what happens.
Okay, so now it's connected again, but
But we still have no...
still do not have working input.
Where is...
Do we accept PayPal donations? Not okay. What depending on what you mean by PayPal donations, we don't accept like donations to a PayPal because we're not collecting the money ourselves. But we do accept. So if you go down to the bottom of the page, right beneath us, and click on the little controller with wings, and that'll bring us to Extra Life page, and you can click there to donate.
Is this playing on Xbox or is it?
This is playing off my PC.
Off of your PC.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Is that your PC right there?
No, it's the cube-ish blue one.
Okay.
Beautiful PC, jeez.
The Cube guys brought the Grapple guys brought like that super crazy PC, remember?
Yeah.
It's like
Oh
the
my
Cube.
gosh.
And it's paired to it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
I
I think quit out to menu.
Could it
Let's
be like a
say,
different-
Let's just go ahead and quit out to menu, and since it's Steam, it'll be easy enough to
Do all that stuff.
Is that letting you do anything?
nothing.
Well, this is quite a predicament.
You know, it happens at least once on every live stream that something...
Press buttons? Nope.
Nothing.
Okay, let's just restart the entire game. Hope that works. Pip.
Now you have to play to that point all over again.
Yay.
Dun, dun.
Well,
There we
hopefully-
go. All right, it seems
Pretty
to
sure
have
it's
detected
saved
itself.
Yeah,
in
it's good.
progress, so you should be okay.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Adventures
I don't know.
of
What is
Adventures
it
of Pip.
I think it's called Rayman. No, I'm just kidding.
Pip.
Wow. It's got similar...
Yeah, I
animation
actually hadn't
style.
thought of that till now. Sort of. I mean, he's like pixelated, but his arms sort of are floating.
It's almost funny because, like, you know, like, I don't know if loyalist is the right word, actually. It's probably, like, people who are...
I'm pretty loyal to the company.
But like, anybody who's, hey, this isn't totally retro because it uses a different animation system. You know, it's not like all pixel pushed animation.
Yeah.
So, but you know, that's the thing is we're dealing with we're trying to. It's not a retro game. It's not a game just for retro sake. You know, it's a game about evolution. You know, and de-evolution and the importance of being, you know, able to switch back between, you know, different genres, because back in a time when games were simple and you didn't rely on graphics to kind of win players over, you just had to have fun with, you know, a D-pad and 2 buttons. So this is kind of like our message is this game is just not retro for retro's sake. It's actually
it's telling a story.
Yeah.
It's like, this is Pip and he's evolving. Come evolve with him.
Right.
Go.
It's so yeah. I mean, like that makes sense in the context of like you're not just doing super far back retro too, right? Because he evolves to like sort of modern times. So that makes sense in that context. It's also it's made in Unity, correct?
It is in Unity.
Made in Unity.
It is definitely in Unity. So, which it gives us a great porting advantage. But like I think like when you look at games like Shovel Knight that are built with like their own proprietary engine, that game is awesome, and that is really a beautiful love letter for 8-bit games. So like that one is the quintessential retro game. That is the true homage to retro games.
Right, but you weren't trying to do that anyways. You were trying to
do that.
Just.
So that goes back to your first question, which was like, what kind of inspired this? And Mark Gomez, who's the director on this project, he had this idea that he wanted to make a game that kind of took players through the different styles of art that he had been creating since in his 12, 13, 14, 15 years of game development and design. So when Mark first started, he was like a Game Boy artist at WayForward. Actually, he was a QA at WayForward before he was a artist at WayForward, and he graduated from Cal Arts, and he had this amazing like animation background. So he kind of, as he was starting to grow into like a pixel artist in the studio, he started doing like pixel animation, and he started doing hand-drawn animation, and so like he did everything from pixel animation in GBA games and color games to hand-drawn animation for Boy and His Blob, and he kind of wanted to tell that story of how games have progressed from where he started back at WayForward. So rather than just make an art game, we wanted to make a gameplay mechanic that made sense for it.
Right.
Yeah. So we actually had like Sean and Herbster from Yacht Club come by the studio, and while they were doing Shovel Knight and play Pip, and there were brainstorm sessions of how to like integrate the actual gameplay mechanic closer to or the evolution into the gameplay mechanic, and that's where kind of BitBeast kind of got created, was in the idea that you would have to do this kind of like Twitch response and like de-evolve and then hit a BitBeast and re-evolve, and it gets really complicated. Well, not complicated, but it gets really challenging in further levels.
Yeah, because you have to like sort of chain them together.
Yeah, and this is only right now. You only have 2 evolutions to play with, but the game goes all the way to 3. And we at one point had 7, but boy, it was like
that seems pretty high.
That's a bit overkill.
It was.
Can I ask what did they all have special things, or
it just,
at that point was it just like slight changes in like jump height and stuff?
It was even slight changes in jump height. At some point, it just like became visual, and it was like,
oh, okay.
I don't even know about this. It looked like one looked like a chicken. Kind of,
what? Okay.
Yeah, it was just like 2 boxes with a head that kind of like was clucking almost as it moved. Nice float. Well done.
Well, that's super interesting. So you guys, you didn't really come at it as like you had this mechanic idea. You came at it as like something you were trying to accomplish in terms of actually presenting this sort of evolution. Correct?
Kind of like that.
So, and you just went from there and sort of figured out what did that best with gameplay?
Yeah, I think when we first kick-started it, we thought we had the gameplay also kind of figured out with the evolution of the art piece, but I think when we prototyped it and demoed it, we actually demoed it with GameSpot, I want to say. Was it GameSpot that we demoed it with? I think so. But when we demoed it, it was like Kathy had to play it perfectly, because if not, it was like seizure inducing the way that the getting hit was working. So so that's when we kind of like rebooted the Kickstarter and said, okay, we're going to do it differently. So we thought we had it figured out with the gameplay mechanic. We noticed how many people were interested in it, but we knew that we weren't going to do them the right we weren't going to give them the right game if we kept going down that path. So we needed to kind of reboot our thinking about how the